Dungeons. Some can be farmed for transmog, others for materials. So today we'll be going over the 10 dungeons you must be farming. Let us begin. Coming in at number 1 and located within Terakar Forest is the dungeon, the Shadow Labyrinth. This dungeon is a great farm due to the amount of Burning Crusade transmog you can acquire from this. However, you are also able to obtain large amounts of Marks of Sargeras and also Fell armaments, which are used to level the reputation for the Aldor faction, which are located within Shathras City. This farm is one of the most straightforward as the dungeon is very linear, though getting back can be a bit tricky, and this is why I make use of the Dreamwalk ability from my druid to port out and into the dungeon while also resetting in between. This makes it so I can do the dungeon in a faster manner, making it so I have enough time to do the material farming in the same zone while waiting for the 10 runs per hour lockout to come off of cooldown. Next up at number 2, we have one of my pride and joys for transmog farming. This is Dire Maul. To run this, I will immediately jump off the top platform and gather up the lashes. This is because I can loop my way back to the entrance, gathering all of the mobs, in which I am able to reset the instance faster while also maintaining the amount of transmog I am able to loot. These items can vary, but on average have a strong gold value. And in addition, you also gain a wide variety of old world herbs, which can either be milled for the inks or flat on the auction house for extra gold per hour for this farm. Dire Maul holds a special place within my heart due to the fact that it has made me so much gold when it comes towards transmog farming, and something I recommend to pretty much everyone when padding out their auction house. Talking about materials, at number 3 we have the Halls of Lightning. By doing a full clear of this raid, you are able to easily make your way around the instance while also burning down the mobs. The best part of this dungeon is of course the materials, which are the Eternals, which drop from the trash mobs along with the relics of Ulduar, which are used in gaining reputation with the Sons of Hodir. On the other hand, the Wrath-based transmog you gain from this dungeon come in at a medium rate, but can yield some good drops, and as such, this is why I've placed it at number 3 on this list. At number 4, and located within the zone of Uldum, we have the dungeon, the Vortex Pinnacle. This dungeon is perfect for quick runs and reliable materials to sell. The item of note from this dungeon is of course volatile air, which drops from the air elementals within the dungeon. I prefer to also pop a potion of treasure finding and run up towards the first boss, gathering up all of the mobs. This provides me with the volatile air I want and also the extra cataclysm materials from the potion. This is where I will reset the instance, but you are able to do a full clear if you are still farming for the Drake of the North Winds, which can be farmed on normal mode as well as heroic. Coming in at number 5, we have one of my favourite dungeons for specifically transmog. This is the dungeon of Gundrak, located within the northern zone of Zul'farrak. Here you will want to first make your way into the dungeon and follow it through, slaying all of the mobs you come across in the process. Upon reaching the other side, you will find there is another portal to this dungeon, making it so you can jump out and jump back in, and as such you can farm this in no time at all. This usually takes around about 2 to 3 minutes to do one run, and as such you were able to do this incredibly fast. The transfer gained from this can be sold for some seriously amazing gold, and I prefer to do this farm above most other Wrath Mog farms because of this. Talking about transmog farms, let's enter the zone of Hellfire Peninsula. Here we'll want to be farming the dungeon Hellfire Ramparts. Make your way around the instance, slaying all of the mobs. Make sure to stop on the first boss as he has a tendency to reset, so it is wise to note this. Though with the last 2 you should skip these and focus solely on the trash mobs. Once complete, jump down and reset the instance. The ramparts are a great way of obtaining a lot of high value BC mogs and is a great one for new sellers to pad out their auction house. This is mainly a transmog farm, but you are able to gather quite a fair amount of rune and netherweave cloth throughout your farming session. Following on to this, at number 7, we have the Wailing caverns, located within the Northern Barrens. This is another great farming location for padding out your auction house with transmog. It is wise to bring a skinner with you for light and medium leather, alongside deviate scales, which can be sold for a reasonable price as they are used to craft some specific transmog from leather workers. Another thing to mention is the battle pet, the deviate hatchling, which also drops from the mobs in this dungeon. This battle pet can be sold for a moderate price, though this does make up for it due to the amount of pets you gain for a 10 run lockout. Coming up at number 8, we have an amazing farm located within the Warlords of Draenor zone of Gorgrond. The Iron Docks is one of the most notable transmog farms for this expansion, as this provides a lot of high value transmog which have a great rate of sale. However, when running this dungeon you should only round up the mobs until you reach the ship, as this is where the largest majority of the mobs are situated. This is so we can focus on the mobs slain in a given session, making it so we can maximize the amount of runs for a 10 run lockout, and as such gain more transmog because of this. Following on to this is one of my go-to gold farms. This is the dungeon Razorfen kraul. I recently talked about this dungeon as it is one of the best for transmog in the old world zones, but it is also amazing for rare and highly sought after recipes. Alongside these recipes, make sure to open all of the chests within said dungeon, as this can contain the recipe the Star Belt, which can be sold for a truly awesome amount of gold. A rogue is the best option as they can use their lock-picking ability to open the locked chest, where other classes would either have to skip or require a skeleton key to open. Lastly, and to finish off this list, and located within the zone of Tanaris, is the dungeon Zul'farrak. I love this dungeon. This is because we are mainly farming for transmog, yes, but you are able to obtain some of the best old world transmog items like the glorious leg plates and the jade sets, which can be sold on the auction house for some truly awesome gold. This comes along with a ton of moderate transmog for padding the auction house out, and is always my choice if I was to start mog farming from scratch, and hence why it is at number 10 on this list. Other than that, guys, that is my pick for the 10 dungeons you must be farming. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.